I forgot myself too.
Good morning. It's 10:32 and I'd like to call the April 14th, 2022 meeting of the Lackawanna County Regional Planning Commission to order. And I'd like to do a roll call. Okay. One moment. Present, we have Cindy Camel.
Yep.
Jerry Carey.
Jerry, period. You're on mute, Jerry.
Chet Murley.
Present.
Rosemary Broderick.
Present.
John Pocius. Harry Lindsay.
Present.
Okay. And Tony Grisanti.
I'm here.
Okay. All right. And now I'd like to ask if there's any public comment.
I did not receive any requests from the public to access the meeting.
Okay. All right. And for the March 14th minutes for the 2022 meeting, we have distributed by email to the board. Are there any corrections or additions or deletions to the document? Seeing none, I'd like to call for a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Second, okay. All right,
Who made the motion? I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
Rose.
Rose, okay.
and the second was
Harry.
Harry.
Harry, thank you, thank you. Okay. Okay, and now we move on to the bills.
Do we have to vote on the motion?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, let's vote on the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so moved. And now we can go forward to the bills.
Okay, they're just straightforward. If anybody has any questions on them.
No questions? Okay, then I moved that we approve the bills. I need a motion, please.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, I'm going with Tony and Cindy on that.
All
Tony
right.
and Cindy, thank you. Okay. And I'd like to, I'd like to approve the minutes then?
The bills.
Take a,
Bills.
the bills, sorry about that, the bills. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now we move on to communications. Mary Lou?
Yep, we just have standard support letters, DCNR, DCED, LSA grants. I do want to highlight on page 4, the very last correspondence that went from Brenda to Tom Owen, who's on our board. He was appointed to the board in May of last year. He has not acknowledged that he's on the board. He has not responded to any emails, letters, phone calls. Our bylaws indicate that if you miss more than 2 consecutive unexcused meetings, the board has the right to remove you. So we put a letter together. We've emailed it to him. We've sent it registered mail. That the board, meaning you guys, will need to formally act next month to remove him from the board unless he contacts us that he wants to appeal that prior.
Mary Liz, who are we talking about?
Tom Owen,
Okay.
he's our 9th member, and he, like I said, he was on years ago and then he resigned and then he was put back on, but he hasn't acknowledged.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So that was just to inform everybody that next month you will need to act on that. And then we have to notify the commissioners that we have a vacancy to appoint somebody else.
So we haven't heard from him, even though we sent him correspondence?
We have never heard from him in a year.
Oh.
Yep.
No,
On any
he
type of
doesn't
correspondence.
respond when Mary Liz sends out the invite and such to come to the meeting. She hasn't received a response.
Did you get the card back that you sent it?
Not yet, not yet. That just went out Friday, so I'll keep
Oh,
you
okay.
posted.
All right, yeah. With the mail these days, it could take another week.
Yeah,
Yep.
yep.
Thank you. And now we move to old business.
Okay, just before we start old business, I want to introduce our newest member, Jessica Edwards. She's
Hi, Jessica.
Hello,
Hi,
Okay.
everyone.
Well, welcome aboard, Jessica.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy to be here.
So Jessica's the new me because I'm the new Steve. I guess that's how that's working.
And congratulations, Mary Liz, to your new position too.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes, very much deserved.
Well deserved, yes.
Absolutely.
That's really condolences because you got to do a PennDOT.
Oh,
Very true, right?
you want to laugh. I come to work every day with, this is what I'm going to do today unless PennDOT throws a wrench into it. That's how the day goes.
You were the only one that could decipher all their acronyms, so you got the position. That's why.
I think Steve is the only one that could do it.
That's how he got the position.
I remember when I first started working for the state, they gave me a page of acronyms that I would have to it was unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah. Chris Chapman from Luzerne County forwarded me. I think it's 3 pages now. And I still don't get it.
Sorry.
Okay, so moving on to old business, right into PennDOT right off the bat. We did finally get our fourth quarter invoice reimbursed. We had issues with the budget item that we had to go back 4 times and revise. Finally, after the 4th time, it was approved and we did get that reimbursement on April 1st. First quarter for 21-22 is ready to go. First time since 2017, Colts is requesting reimbursement. The contract with them for the pass-through money is at Colts right now. So as soon as we get that back from them, we will sign and we will able to get the first quarter invoice into PennDOT. Under systems planning, we are part of that Eastern Freight Alliance with the MPOs from Lehigh Valley, NEPA, Berks County, Lebanon County. I don't know if I missed one. I think that's it. Doing that Eastern Freight study. Lehigh Valley is the lead agency, so they're basically handling all the paperwork and all the organization on this. They did put an RFP out. We did get 3 back to do the freight study. Each MPO ranked the 3 consultants. We had a meeting and they took the top 2, which were within 1/10 of a point of each other. And we have interviews set up actually next Thursday afternoon. It's a 3-hour slot. We have 1 hour for each consultant and then an hour to discuss the interviews afterwards to decide who we're going to go with on that. Myself, Bob, and Jessica participated in the bi-monthly planning partners call. Nothing really, that stands out to just the usual PennDOT stuff that we went through. Nothing really to highlight. We also did participate in a electric vehicle update. That was very interesting with the new infrastructure funds. This is like one of the largest investments in the charging, the EV charging in the history of the US. PennDOT had to work with FHWA to designate what they call alternative fuel corridors, including the EV corridors. They've designated the interstates and just US 30 that's not an interstate as on these corridors. Most of them are pending and some of them are considered ready. Now in our region, 80, 81, and 84 are on the pending category. The Turnpike 476 is on the ready category from Wyoming Valley south to the junction with the East-West Turnpike. The ready corridors, they have to have a charging station within 1 mile of all interchanges and then no more than 50 miles apart. The only thing we didn't figure out in the discussion was actually when this was taking place, if there was a timeline on that. But that would be the first, the Turnpike would be the first then to get the EVs. Myself and Jessica participated in a meeting with NEPA Moves. It was more like a sales pitch from a company called Via Transportation. Mayor Cognetti is actually interested in doing this. It's kind of like a shared ride, last mile coordinated effort with public transportation. It would be for underserved areas or from getting people from the bus stop to, they needed to get to the hospital or to place of employment. Basically, they needed to present this to Colts to see how they were receptive of it and then take it to the MPO. But over the years, I guess this has been done in the past, my understanding, and funding has always been an issue. So I don't know, what that's gonna lead.
Mary Liz, going back to charging for 1 second, are these fast charging stations?
Yes, fast chargers, yes.
They're the expensive ones.
Yeah, the 20 to 30 minute is what they consider the fast charge.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I've seen the charging stations. I don't know if it's at Hickory Run or Allentown Plaza. They have them already. Maybe both. I'm not sure.
Okay, moving on. Bob is actually going to start working on the functional class update. Basically, there's 445 road segments in the county that are designated as, collectors, arterials, minor roads, local roads. Bob is going to have to go through that and reevaluate if we need to, readjust the classification. That's all based on the traffic counts. Chris from Luzerne County is actually going to come up here next Friday and kind of walk him through what he needs to do. Right now, he's kind of just going through the spreadsheet to check the segments, make sure everything's in order. I'm also working with Chris on the tip. The majority of this was already done prior to, me taking the spot. So there's not really a whole lot left to do, but that would have to go out for public comment, probably early June, and then it's scheduled for adoption at the July 6th MPO meeting. And that's all I got on transportation.
Mary Liz, I came in late. I had computer issues. I finally got everything working here. You said there was 2 firms shortlisted for the freight study. Can you reveal who they are or no?
We had a discussion with the rest of the group and they did not want us to let anybody know yet until we did the interviews. I don't know what the legal ramifications were on that, but they asked us not to.
Okay. Just curious who would go after something like that,
Yeah, they're not local. They're out of one's out of Philly, one's out of Washington, DC, I think, and I don't know where the other one is, New Jersey, possibly. Yeah.
Thank you.
Moving to Scranton Abington Planning Association.
Yep, Scranton had their public hearing. Some of the neighborhood associations were concerned about some issues, so they're kind of back working with them. Their intent is to have another public hearing. Haven't heard anything on a timeline yet, but it's moving slowly. Again, Dunmore, still waiting for Scranton, so I'm not sure, what's going on. The passenger rail resumption, we didn't have any activity, but there was an article in the paper the other day about New Jersey Transit, I think, approved a contract for another 3 miles of the missing section.
It's good news.
Yep. And hopefully with the Amtrak study coming on that, we'll be moving quicker than we have in the past. Hazard mitigation, again, I have no activity, but I did get an email just yesterday from FEMA. Apparently the funding from FEMA is actually not as large as they thought. So they were cutting back on the amount that they were giving everybody. Those that wanted more than 100,000, of which we are included, they wanted more detailed scope of works, some more additional questions. So I am working with our hazard mitigation consultant on getting that information back to FEMA. So hopefully, hopefully that'll all work out. We may not get as much as we asked for, but they told us to reach for the stars. So that's what we did. Chesapeake Bay, no activity. SAPA 2.0, the Carbondale plan, we're meeting with them next Thursday night. hopefully that'll be a positive meeting and we'll move forward with that. Everybody has responded back to Michelle Bannon from the city that they are interested, and hopefully everybody will have a representative at the meeting. I know Mayfield is definitely interested, and I will explain why when we get to the reviews, because they've got some zoning changes going on there.
Mary Liz, can you send me that meeting information?
Yes,
Thank you.
yes. Annual report, that's actually new business. If you want to talk about it now or you want to wait till after development reviews, that's up to you.
Now is fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
So you've all gotten a copy, right, of the annual report?
Yes.
Yes, and I'd like to thank you all for your hard work on this. It's a beautiful report. You did very well. I'd like to thank Brenda, Mary Liz, Jessica, Stephen, and Robert. And thank you very much. Good job.
Does anybody have any questions? I mean, it's pretty, just, the highlight again is the multifamily kind of taking precedence over single family. That's a trend that's been going on for the last few years. The warehouses, again, large, I think it's over 6 million square feet from last year. Highlight on the census, if anybody didn't know, the county actually did gain population again. This is the second census in a row that we've gained. And actually within the two cities, it's kind of stabilized. Scranton went up a little bit, Carbondale went down a little bit, but not as drastic as in the past. So things are stabilizing, and hopefully that's going to be a trend that continues. Anybody have any questions on specifics or anything in the plan or in the report?
Can I copy this and present this at our next planning committee meeting?
Far away, Chet.
Yeah, sorry, can you hear me better?
Yeah, a little bit.
Can I copy this and review it with the planning commission and Blakely Borough at the next meeting?
You can, and actually after, I think you would need a motion today to accept it, and we're going to send it up to the commissioners, and then I'm going to put it online and also email it to all the municipalities.
Okay, thanks.
So we do need a motion then, Carol, to approve it and send it to the commissioners.
Okay, I'd like to ask for a motion, unless there's questions, I'd like to ask for a motion to accept the 2021 annual report.
I'll move.
Second.
Okay, and that
All in
was,
favor?
Aye.
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 who
Any
made the
opposed?
motion? Was it Chet?
Yeah.
Chet, then Cindy second?
No,
Rose.
Rose, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, ayes have it. And thank you again for your hard work, everyone, on that.
Thank you.
Now, we have new business.
Okay, so under development reviews, we just have two developments to highlight, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about that Mayfield rezoning request. So the first one is page 20, Geisinger in Dixon City, and Jess is actually up for both of them this time, so I'm going to turn it over to Jess.
Perfect. So just like Mary Liz said, these comments start on page 20 of your packet. This is for a proposed 55,000 square foot cancer center for the Geisinger Health Systems. It's located behind Gibbons Ford, or will be located behind Gibbons Ford in Dixon City. So that's located directly across the street from the entrance to Staples, and I think Gander Mountain used to be in there.
Yep.
Maybe Best Buy is there now still.
Yes, yep.
Okay, perfect. So my comments for this, I just wanted to touch on the access looks like it's going to be on Martin F. Gibbons Boulevard. So that's the access way for the Ford dealership. We're not sure if that's a private road or not. We believe that it is, so we do need some clarification on that. Additionally, we want to know if there's going to be an access easement or how that's going to be handled to allow shared access. There's a little bit of discrepancy when it comes to the parking space size between what actually shows on the plan and how it scales versus the way that the cover sheet indicates. That would be comment number 3. And then I assume they'll want signage at the intersection. So I've made a note here about signage having to comply with their zoning ordinance. And then additionally, on their plan, they've highlighted about 2/3 of the site to be future development. They've indicated it to be phase 2 and phase 3. So we would like to see some information on that. Does anybody have any questions about this one?
No.
No?
There is a light there, isn't there, by the Ford dealership?
Yes,
There's a light, yeah.
there is a traffic light yet.
For the group, Cico Lobella did the land development plan for Gibbons Ford. And, including the improvements to light, Martin Gibbons Boulevard. I'm the surveyor of record on the subdivision, which cut that back piece out. But I can't answer I think it is a private drive or driveway. And I think there would have to be some kind of I think that's the way it was always set up to access that back piece was off there. So I'm not sure. You might have to go back and look at the subdivision and see what's on there, or maybe they should supply it, but Dixon City will work it out. I know they will.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Great. And if there's no more questions, we'll move on to the next one. This starts on page 34, and it's in reference to Kobalinski Storage. If I butchered the name, I'm so sorry. This is a self-storage facility that is proposed on a vacant lot. It's located on the east side of Burney Avenue. And so this would be north of CK's Auto Parts, but south of Well-Heeled Boutique. I think that used to be a Zumba studio or something like that. Right now it's a vacant lot. And like I said, it's proposed to be self-storage. 2 buildings comprising 7,200 square feet of self-storage. We don't know how many units, and we're also not sure if they're going to put management establishment, maybe an office, some restroom facilities for employees, sorry. We're not sure about that yet. So if my memory serves me correctly, someone on the board is part of the Music Planning Commission. So you might know more about this than I do.
That's Harry.
Okay.
We have not seen that yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So self-storage units, they're not a permitted use in the C2 district where this is located, but there was a zoning hearing case that was on February 23rd of last year. There's not really too much information about what was approved. They just left it kind of vague on the plan and said that self-storage is an allowed use. So some of my comments may have been addressed at the hearing. I'm not sure. Something that's important to note on the plan is labeled a garage on the adjacent lot. That garage actually appears to be a dwelling, and the access to the self-storage is going to be using a portion of the driveway for that dwelling. So I'm a little bit concerned about revising an HOP to address increased traffic flow for the self-storage facilities. That's one of my comments. Additionally, it appears that the whole lot is in the AE flood zone, so they might have some issues with that. When it comes to that driveway, this is at these comments, I'm sorry, are at the bottom of page 35. When it comes to the driveway, like I said, currently it's used to access what appears to be a dwelling. So we don't know whether they're going to do a deed of access, some kind of documentation to allow them to have egress rights using that driveway, if it is allowed by PennDOT. Moving forward onto page 36, there was no parking information provided. So I'm not really sure what their plans are. I've listed some options here. And some other concerns regarding surfacing. Right now, it appears that they're going to just do a big gravel bid surrounding both of the buildings. With that, there's no indication where loading or unloading will be for the units, or how the units will be accessed, if it's going to be maybe units on the north side and the south side of the building. And then travel in those areas could get a little dicey because it's kind of narrow. No lighting or landscaping, so that's going to be important as well. And then I'm not quite sure how they're going to secure access to the site. Generally with self-storage facilities, I'm sure we've all seen they have gates or they're fenced. They might have staff on site to let someone in. We're not quite sure how that's going to be handled yet, but there are some comments here regarding making sure the gate gets approval from local officials in reference to emergency access. And then my last comment that I want to just touch upon is the potential for outdoor storage. They've not indicated it anywhere on the plan, but I think that it would be a good idea if something was indicated on the plan to specify that they're not going to allow outdoor storage, or if it is a plan in the future to move forward and really think about that option as well. So I know I just threw a lot at you. Does anyone have any questions?
No.
Good comments, Jess. Very nice.
Thank you.
Excellent comments.
Very good.
I think this is the same guy that every so often he throws out a plan to see if it's going to fly. This might be another one, you know. Last time was an apartment building. Time before that was like some grocery store. I mean, so, but very good comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
My concern is, why would anybody want to store their stuff in a building that's in a floodplain?
Right.
I mean, I understand it would have to be flood proofed and, you know, built to flood standards, but just the thought.
Big insurance claim.
I'm still confused as to where this is located. So if I'm going, let's say, north on Bernie Avenue, okay, north back towards Scranton, and CK Auto driveway's on my right-hand side going up to CK and the beer distributorship. So if I go around that curve, they're pretty elevated.
Other
Once I
side of the
clear
street.
what's
Yeah, it's the other side of the road.
Other side of the street.
Well, that's not the east side of Bernie Avenue. That'd be the west side of Bernie Avenue.
Yeah,
Going north, right? Am I right or wrong, Harry? If I'm going north on
all I
Bernie
know is-
Avenue and it's across the street, it's on the left side, that's west. So I know where you're talking about now. There's a house that sits up there. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I know where you're talking. So they're trying to go snake their way through that property to get in there?
Yeah,
Yes.
It's
Okay, all right, so.
a bit of a mess.
Nick Pacini's retired. I don't even think he lives in the area anymore. Somebody got his survey. And Nick is a complete guy, so
Oh, yeah.
that's why it's not signed and sealed, because I think Nick is retired. He moved out of the area.
He is.
Used to live in Bellin Village down there. I know that for a fact. Nick did great work. Everything he said we submitted was excellent, you know, so I'm not going to say anything else about this plan because I just have my own comments, and I'm just gonna, it's got a long way to go. I mean, it's dead in the water to me, and I don't know how this could ever fly, to tell you the truth. But if you can get enough variances and appease PennDOT and everything else, which is going to be pretty hard, they don't generate a lot of traffic, so I don't know, you know, they're not going to be a high volume driveway or anything like that, storage facilities. It's not like you're, you know, you put it in there and maybe you go back every 6 months to look at it or something. But it's great comments, Jess. You really did a great job on this here. I
Thank
mean,
you.
when you go to 3 sheets, this plan has got a lot of issues, you know?
Every once in a while we get a
Dunmore.
winner like that.
And they mentioned Dunmore in their comments, and, you know, that's way off, I guess.
Well,
the
that's a
mark.
cut and paste that they forgot to change.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yep.
Very good.
Okay, and the last one on the reviews is on page 40. Bob and Jessica actually worked together on this, but it's kind of complex. If you remember, a month or so ago, Mayfield had come in for a zoning change to rezone a portion off of the Meredith Street exit from conservation to manufacturing. It was an expansion of the zone across the Casey for a warehouse project. Again, 3 warehouses for that particular project. One in Carbondale Township, one in Mayfield, and the other one was going to the border was kind of going through the middle. Coming back in now, the project is, I'm not sure if it's the same person or somebody else, but the project is moving south to the German exit. So now they're looking to do an additional 2 or 3 warehouses off the German exit. So they were requested to rezone another portion of conservation to manufacturing and to eliminate their IAC zone and make it manufacturing. And then across the other side of the Casey Highway, going down Rushbrook Street towards German, on the right side and on the left side, they're looking to change it from R1 to R2 because there's talk of townhouses. And there's also talk of a Wawa somewhere at that interchange as well. The only issue we had was to make sure that all the uses in the IAC were also allowed in another zone. They went back and checked that, and the only one that wasn't was indoor shooting range. So they've moved that to the C2. And then the reference that they need to make sure that all the references to the IAC are eliminated from the ordinance. This is the reason why Mayfield is very interested in a comp plan and a zoning update, because they are now getting hit with the development off the Casey Highway. And you know, the line everybody always like says that nothing hits Lackawanna County until 20 years later. Well, the Casey Highway is just about 20 years old, and now we're getting hit with that development. We have Oliphant, we have German, and we have the Meredith Street exit as well, now all proposed for development. And that is it for development reviews.
John, focus. John. Hey, John.
Yeah.
We were 30 years ahead when we developed the article exchange.
Couldn't hear. Sorry about that.
We were 30 years ahead when we developed the Archibald exchange.
So I think we need a motion to approve the reviews.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to call for a motion to accept the reviews.
I have a question on one review, and it's on page 26, Phil Township R2, consolidation of 6 lots and 0.706 acres with a garage on there. And my question, again, these questions are sometimes related to some of the situations that come across planning commission that I'm on currently. So there's a garage that's going on here. Are you allowed to have an accessory structure without a principal permitted structure?
Bob, do you know if it's is it a private garage? Is it a commercial garage? Do they indicate what they?
It's private. The lady lives right there, so.
So there is a house on.
I'm not sure if it's on one of those lots or on an adjacent one. And I'd have to double check the map.
Yeah, I think the purpose of consolidating was to put the garage on the same property with the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I'd like to call for a motion to accept the reviews.
So moved.
I'll second.
Was that Rose and Cindy?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any noes?
Not a no, Carol, but page 18 and 19 is a subdivision from Lavella, so let the record show that I have voted for the other approvals, but abstained on the Scranton Counseling Center one, which was a Lavella survey, of which I was directly involved. Okay?
Thank you, yes, okay. Okay, the motion carries. Okay, and we move now to public comment or other business, I should say, excuse me, other business.
Yeah, on other business, I just want to remind, I need 3 more financial statements. They're due into the commissioners by May 1st. I don't have Rose's, Carol's, or Chet's. If you need me to resend it again through email, I could do that. And if you can get it back to us prior to May 1st, so I can get it up to the commissioners.
I'll send mine out
I'm
today.
going to take mine tomorrow down to the, not tomorrow, today, down to the county building, but unless I could mail it, I didn't know it was due May 1st. I thought it was tomorrow, but I'll send mine. Okay.
Okay,
I have to do mine online.
okay, and one other item under business, next month's meeting. Do we want to do virtual again, or do we want to attempt to meet in person?
Well, given
Any
the
thought?
uptick, I think we better plan a Zoom meeting.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's
Fine with
fine.
me, yes.
Okay.
okay, that's not a problem. And that's all I have. If anybody else has anything.
And there was no public comment?
There wasn't, I didn't receive any requests or anything to access the meeting.
Okay, then I would look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Okay, and who was that? I'm sorry.
John Pocius, we should say our names. John Pocius, motion.
Thank you. And the second was,
Tim Early, second.
thank you, Chet. Okay. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And no one opposed. So thank you all for coming, and meeting is adjourned. And again, I just want to thank everyone for all your hard work. You guys did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy
Happy
Easter.
Easter,
yeah.
everybody.
Happy Easter all.
Happy Easter all.
Easter.
Thank
All
you.
right.
And
Bye-bye.
Jessica, great job. We're
Oh,
very
thank
proud.
you.
Thank you. Great job.
Bye-bye.
Happy Easter all.